Tell me why the world never fights fair.
Today, we're counting down Netflix original movies that push the platform into new territory. Wild concepts, bold ideas, action you can stream right now. We start with a fan favorite, Triple Frontier.
You cannot go back to your normal life after tonight. You guys need to own the fact that what we're about to do is criminal.
A retired special forces team reunites for one high-stakes job deep in the South American jungle. Their target is a cartel boss, sitting on a fortune in cash, protected by a small army and impossible terrain. What starts as a clean, precision-planned extraction quickly turns into a dangerous fight for survival as loyalty, pressure, and pure greed begin to pull the mission apart.
We gotta go. All right, we can each take a backpack of cash, and we're gone. No, there's about $100 million waiting in the van out there. We are not leaving them any of this money.
Triple Frontier blends gritty modern action with something rare for this genre, a cast that actually feels lived in together. Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Pedro Pascal, they bring weight, exhaustion, and ego to every decision these guys make. The movie leans into how money warps judgment, how brotherhood strains under pressure, and how even elite soldiers can lose control when the stakes change. Number 9, Extraction. Chris Hemsworth plays a Black Ops mercenary hired to rescue the kidnapped son of a crime lord, pulling him into a city controlled by rival gangs and corrupt forces hunting the same target. The job falls apart almost instantly, turning a straightforward extraction into a non-stop fight through streets, rooftops, alleys, and safe houses as every exit seals shut. With the city closing in on him from all directions, survival comes down to endurance.
But you gotta leave the kid behind.
Are you gonna leave me in the street?
Extraction puts Chris Hemsworth in a stripped-down, physical role shaped by Sam Hargrave's stunt-driven approach. Filming in India came with a national firearms ban, pushing the production to use rubber prop guns and digital muzzle flashes that shaped the film's raw aesthetic. With more than 99 million households viewing it in its first 4 weeks, the film set a new streaming benchmark for Netflix originals, cementing its place as a modern action milestone. The Harder They Fall.
A new day is dawning.
Jonathan Majors plays Nat Love, an outlaw who brings his crew back together after learning that the man who killed his parents has been released from prison. Their hunt draws them into a violent Western landscape shaped by rival gangs, shifting loyalties, and towns ruled by the fastest guns. What starts as a personal vendetta grows into a clash of power, ideals, and buried history as every move pushes Nat toward the showdown he's waited his entire life to face.
I don't particularly enjoy violence. That being said, you are currently in company of extremely violent individuals.
Jump, mother.
The Harder They Fall stands out for its stylized reinvention of the Western, mixing real historical names with a completely fictional story to create its own version of the Old West. Jamie Samuel built the film around bold production design, modern rhythm, and a soundtrack shaped by reggae, hip-hop, and soul, giving the genre a sharp new edge. The cast trained heavily with real weapons coaches to match the film's fast, rhythmic gunplay. What started as a passion project turned into one of Netflix's most distinctive action westerns. Number 7, Bright.
Windows up. Drive it like you stole it.
Put on the gas, hit the motor.
Will Smith plays a veteran cop partnered with a rare orc officer in a modern-day Los Angeles, where humans, orcs, and elves live side by side. They uncover a magical relic that ignites a citywide witch hunt and sparks gang warfare as powerful forces scramble to control it. The case fast becomes a collision of cop show procedural, fantasy myth, and raw street violence.
Butterfingers.
We were doing so good.
Bright became one of Netflix's earliest tentpole action fantasy hybrids. Designed to test whether blockbuster-scale world-building could work directly on streaming, the film leaned into practical creature makeup and prosthetics for its orc and elf designs. Backed by large-scale VFX to blend magic into modern Los Angeles, it was also one of Netflix's most expensive originals at the time, a sign of how aggressively the platform was pushing into big-world storytelling. Despite polarized reviews, it pulled massive viewership on release and set the template for how Netflix would chase high-concept originals in the years that followed. Number 6, Kate.
Who are you?
I'm Kate.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays a hired assassin who's poisoned on a job in Tokyo and given less than a day to live. With time running out, she hunts the people responsible as the city's gangs close in around her. The mission turns into a fast, brutal race through neon streets as she pushes toward the truth and fights to control her final hours.
Great shot.
Kate turns the ticking clock assassin setup into a neon Tokyo rampage, with Mary Elizabeth Winstead driving most of the action herself. The film leaned into its Japan setting with real Tokyo street locations and a tight focus on practical stunt work. It was also one of Netflix's more expensive original action films at the time, helping define the platform's push toward high-energy, stylized thrillers. What began as a small, contained revenge story evolved into one of Netflix's standout experiments in stylized action filmmaking. The Mother.
What do they want?
Revenge. They're using her to get to me.
Jennifer Lopez plays a former military operative who comes out of hiding after the daughter she gave up years earlier is targeted by violent men from her past, forced back into the life she left behind. She tracks the threat across cities and frozen wilderness while trying to protect a child who barely knows her.
Who are you?
From here on, you do everything I say.
You're driving.
I'm 12.
Let's go.
The Mother marked a physical, grounded action turn for Jennifer Lopez, who trained in sniper work, knife fighting, and cold weather survival to anchor the film's intensity. Director Nikki Caro shot key sequences in Vancouver's frozen backcountry, using the real terrain to push the story's harsh, isolated tone. It became one of Netflix's most-watched titles of 2023, reinforcing the platform's move toward big, star-driven action stories. Outside the Wire.
Welcome to the war, kid.
Anthony Mackie plays an advanced military android sent into a war zone near a future conflict. He's paired with a young drone pilot, played by Damson Idris, and pushed into hostile territory to stop a rogue warlord. But the deeper they go, the pilot realizes the mission isn't what it seems, and that Mackie's character may have his own plan in motion.
You're up. You're commanding officer, and I'm gonna give you 60 seconds to deal with it. Yes, sir. Cool.
Outside the Wire builds its world around the realities of modern warfare. Autonomous weapons, drone strikes, and soldiers working under machine intelligence. Mackie's android isn't just a set piece. It reflects how close real combat is to becoming machine-driven. Behind the scenes, the stunt team focused on sharp, mechanical movement and mixed real tactical choreography with digital touches. Heavy winter conditions shaped the look, pushing the crew to build large-scale sets and effects that gave the story its cold, near-future edge. Number 3, Polar.
You're not from around here, are you?
No, I'm retired.
What was your job?
I was in the funeral business.
Mads Mikkelsen plays the Black Kaiser, a legendary hitman, just days away from collecting his mandatory pension when his own assassin agency turns on him, sending a squad of young killers to erase him before they have to pay out. Hiding out in a frozen small town, he's dragged back into the life he tried to escape, forcing him to confront a brutal new generation of mercenaries while protecting the one person in town who doesn't know who he really is. Polar comes from a Dark Horse Comics webcomic, but what really shaped it was Netflix. This was during the platform's early push into hyper-violent, graphic novel-style originals, a period where they wanted projects traditional studios wouldn't touch. The interesting part is how it frames the hitman world like corporate work, full of benefits, payouts, and a company willing to kill employees to save money, turning the genre into workplace satire instead of sleek assassin fantasy. Number 2, 6 Underground.
No policies or politics.
No one touch. He's mine.
From director Michael Bay, 6 Underground follows Ryan Reynolds as the unnamed leader of a covert crew who fake their own deaths so they can take down a brutal dictator with zero rules holding them back. It's a loud, high-speed vigilante mission built on wild chases, risky improvisation, and Bay's signature everything explodes energy.
These people were declared dead.
None of us will be remembered. What's about to happen will.
Good things when he raised the bad ones, right?
6 Underground is Michael Bay's first big swing with Netflix, and it shows. This was part of Netflix's push to prove they could drop a full-scale blockbuster without a theater, and Bay delivered exactly the experiment they wanted. Maximum speed action, hard cuts, and set pieces that feel engineered for pure sensory overload. It reflects a moment when Netflix wanted directors with big signatures to push streaming into blockbuster territory, and Michael Bay was the perfect test case. Number 1. Project Power.
Listen to my voice. Am I lying?
Project Power hits New Orleans with a simple, dangerous idea, a pill that gives you 5 minutes of unpredictable superpowers. Jamie Foxx plays a former soldier tracking down the people behind it, teaming up with a cop and a teenage dealer as the city turns into a live experiment where every dose can either save you or blow everything apart.
Yeah. On the streets, they're talking about superpowers, but they're not talking about how one hit could kill you.
Project Power arrived during Netflix's push for original superhero stories and stood out because of its angle. Power's treated like a street drug instead of a destiny. The film mixes sci-fi and street-level crime with a pace that barely slows down, using fast, chaotic cuts to make every dose feel unstable and dangerous. Instead of leaning into big mythology, it plays more like a street-level thriller that just happens to explode every few minutes.